statue, Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here. I brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues, Ken Rollins. Today's guests are two of my friends from a long time and about 12 miles down the road, Eli Henderson and Tim Hodges, and we'll tell you more about them when we come back. Get you a pen, be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Appreciate you tuning in this week. Today I got two of my favorite people on here, and one of them has been on here several times, and it's the first time for this other guy. Eli Henderson, I can go into all the things for ex-county commissioner to, let's say some of the things he did. He's a retired circuit court clerk. He's a world-class fisherman. He's a puddle fisherman. We might talk about that someday. And he's a master of all trades, or jack of all trades and a master of one. And the next guest is a Calhoun County Commissioner, Tim Hodges, and welcome to the show, Eli. Got that? You see how I did that? Tim, good to see you, brother.
Great to be here.
Well, welcome to WEAC TV 24.
We're glad to be here.
We're over in your district, buddy.
This is my district,
Yeah.
District 2. Sure is.
Oxford.
Yeah, proud to have you here.
Well, I didn't know. I was just thinking about that. You're my commissioner. I live over here off of Friendship Road.
I am. My district runs all the way down to just about 21 past the Civic Center.
I live in the low rent district over there.
I know.
Poor people.
Yeah, I know better than that now. Yeah.
Eli, welcome back to the show, brother.
I'm glad to be back, and always glad to hook up with my good friend Ken Rollins.
Well, good to see you. And I like that shirt you're wearing because this is the Law Enforcement Week, and you and Tim have been working on all that. They're taking care of our law enforcement for the local here. And I want to say something about that sticker that folks can looking at, and I got to wonder what that is about Mad Dog. Everybody knows who. If they're watching this show and you don't know who Mad Dog Mattis is, I don't know why you'd be watching this or As the World Turns or something, because Mad Dog Mattis is the man.
He's a real Marine.
He's real everything. Air Force, Army.
He's a real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never met him, never heard of him until just recently, but go back and doing some study on him. I'm glad we got somebody like that serving this country. And Tim, I was just looking this morning and say you're over the. How long have you been on the county commission?
This is my 7th year.
7 years.
My second term. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I know every time I've ever needed anything, I've contacted you. You've always come through. But there's a lot of things that's been going on. Eli, if you will, let me get Tim here for a minute. But things that are going on in my area, that Choccolocco Park here in Oxford, I know you are proud of that.
I am proud of that. We as a county are proud of it, and it's in my district, and I have a great relationship with Oxford and the leaders at Oxford, and Mayor Kraft and Director Hudson, and who's also on the commission. And Choccolocco Park is, a beautiful place. It's going to be great for the community, and even Choccolocco Creek. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've been working with Fred Couch from the Alabama Scenic River Trail, helping him out with some funds and some volunteers to clean the creek out.
Clean them old trees and logs and stuff?
Been cutting trees back and retrieving stuff out of the creek. And when you get down past the Friendship Bridge to Walmart is really, really bad. You don't see it, you don't realize, but they told me a couple of days ago it's approximately 300 tires been dumped in the creek.
Well, I bet you a hamburger that the water will flow better once they do that.
It will.
It won't be backing up.
Rolls of chain link fence, and it just goes on and on. But we've coordinated with our people at the county and Fred's people to get them out. We're going to pick them up and dispose of them. And
the county's going to do that?
The Choccolocco Watershed volunteers are going to help get involved. And so it's going to be great once it's clean, and you can get in over here at what's going to be next to Choccolocco Park, the canoe and outfit on the side that they hadn't started yet. But the old bridge there and that portion of the road belonged to the county, and when we started all this, I arranged for the county to deed that to Oxford so they would have access to the creek and be able to. They've already got their the kayaks and canoes
Yeah.
and stuff and getting ready to go. So that's going to be
Well,
pretty
look,
exciting.
just about all of Oxford is in a flood zone,
It
and
is.
the people that's watching us now, they don't think of Choccolocco Creek as being their problem. They just know that when it rains, their backyard's full of water. Well, one of the things is they don't have a drain to get that water out of here fast enough because of all of the debris in the creek.
There's so much flooding there at the Friendship Bridge. You know, you always see
Mm-hmm.
how bad it gets, but if you see the creek and what's been done to it, you can understand why it's such a problem.
Absolutely.
You would think that somebody would have already
Go
made
put 2 or 3 socks in your drain and your in your
Exactly.
sink and see how well it drains. That's
And
what's
we're
happening.
talking over 300 tires buried
Good
in
gracious.
there alone.
Good
So
gracious.
that's not to mention whatever else they're going to pull out. But I think it's gonna help a lot with. That's just going to be
That's
a
where you'd
residual
like to have a
effect.
game camera parked out there to sit on the
Yeah,
post to see who
somebody's
that is.
going back there, back of Walmart or somewhere, and rolling those tires in there. But you know, it's just something the public doesn't see, but something that has to be done. And
Well,
it's
as
gonna be good.
somebody who lives in Oxford, I thank you for doing that because that is that's such a blessing. I love Choccolocco Creek. I wanted to cut all that debris along Boiling Spring Road where people can look over there at it. And that's,
Yeah, and speaking of Boiling Springs Road, of course, you know, with
The
a,
surface
with a, with a new intersection, Boiling Springs Road kind of intersects the county and Oxford, and you
Yeah.
see that in a lot of areas, especially as
Yeah.
the commissioner. I have Anniston, Oxford, White Plains, a lot of different areas, so I'm dealing with different outfits. But on Boiling Springs Road, there's several neighbors have called about the road being too narrow and buses and some of the road falling off. And after getting several calls, we determined that the road is really kind of a joint operation between us and Oxford. And I got with this, I had our engineers get with the city of Oxford, and we've gotten together and we're going to redo Boiling Springs Road and repave it, and we're going to share that amongst
my.
both of us. So that's kind of unheard of
widen
in
it?
the old days of city government. Yeah,
Man.
we're going to widen it and blacktop it, and you know, it's just it's going to be much safer. It takes a lot of traffic. Everybody's trying to use it now to get around, but that's just another aspect of trying to help alleviate the traffic and so forth.
you're working with the city doing that because I know
Yeah.
Ch-
Our Calhoun County Highway Department and our engineers, we do a lot of road paving and that.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten with their engineers, who were some of the guys that actually came from our operation that went to work for Oxford. So we've learned to get together more often, as in with Leon Smith Parkway, the 8/10 of a mile at the end, the extension that's been going on for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's another project I've been heavily involved in, helping Oxford to get that widened and some property relocated, and so it's.
Well, Eli, we hadn't forgot about you, buddy. Tim did, but I hadn't.
Well,
He's
Tim
got
is
a
my
lot to talk-
protege, and I'm proud of him.
and he's doing
a heck of a job.
Yeah, this is where when you went on the county commission, they were just road commissioners. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do no parks and none of that stuff. And Tim and them guys, it's just a multitasking, so to speak. But let me get back to you because I got a minute. I wanted to talk about back to blue, about the law enforcement thing. This week, as we're doing this show today, all this week we're going to have events coming up for the law enforcement. And why are you doing that? Got you, didn't I?
No, I've always got an answer.
Let's hear it.
Let me inject this real quick because you brought it up earlier. I love the fact that our president has got a blue light shining on the White House. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Well, wasn't that impressive?
Well, we ain't got 30 seconds, so you took all that talking about that light. I want to talk about, but we now got to come back and talk about the things that's going on this week up there.
We can do it.
Well, we got folks that's going to be watching, and we need to let them know where they need to be. Like Wednesday, we got a thing, and for the veterans and all that stuff. We'll talk more about that. Let's go to a break. Come back. Let's talk more with Tim and Eli, and Tim. We'll be right back after this message. Be right. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're talking with Tim Hodges, Calhoun County Commissioner, and Eli Henderson, the former Calhoun County Commissioner, and the former Circuit Court Clerk for the Calhoun County. Eli, as we were talking about the Law Enforcement Week, and this Wednesday, as the folks are watching this show, Wednesday we have an event up at the City Meeting Center for the law enforcement and the veterans and the military. Is that feeding them lunchtime.
Tomorrow we're going to have our
well,
Marines here.
we're taping, so we have to say Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Tomorrow, if you're a Marine, come on up, or if you're in the military, come on up, and we'll feed you free, as you know. Ken is part of our committee at the background. Does that make sense?
In the background, yeah.
But anyway, he does an
I
excellent
do the
job.
entertaining. The sing, any singing required?
We're going. We'll
Go
talk
ahead.
about that later.
Yeah.
Real quick, like though, we're feeding these guys for 4 days, and Ken's in charge of our program this coming Friday. Now we'll have our Marines there tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be military, along with law enforcement appreciation. It's also going to be military appreciation. We've got a lot of people in the military, or former military, that are in law enforcement today. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to have some people there that are in the military. And if you were in the military, come on by there and get a free lunch on us and say thank you to our guys in blue.
Okay.
And we're also going to have our Marine Corps League, Alan Ray Chafin, Marine Corps League. Our members are going to be there. And we're going to stand up, and guess what song we're going to sing?
Hall of Montezuma.
That's it. You've heard it
I
before.
guess.
But we're going to sing, so don't be offended if we sing the Marine Corps hymn loud and where you
The
can hear it.
only part is you put that word sing. Yeah, I've heard you, and y'all don't sing. Y'all just make noise, and
Just
it
yelling,
it
mostly.
resembles it. I will say it does sound similar. But let's move on because we'd run out of time earlier.
Friday.
I want to make sure we get this in here because the folks watching us on Facebook and whatever. Wednesday at noon, we're going to have the Attorney General, the new Attorney General up there that took Luther Strange's place, Steve Marshall, is our keynote speaker.
Right.
At noon in Centennial Memorial Park, right there on that street. I can't remember the name of the street that comes by there.
That's going to be Friday.
Yeah, what's the number of that street there by the fire department's on?
Is that Eli Henderson Parkway?
No.
Ken Rollins Way, I think it is.
Yeah. At noon Friday, we're going to have that event. We're going to have a lot of ceremonial
Right.
Events going on during that time. So what we'd like to do is if you've said or you thought that you appreciate law enforcement, people say, well, I really appreciate my law enforcement. The best way you can do that is show up at noon Friday in Centennial Park, and just by being there in the audience, tells those law enforcement people that you do support them.
How about you
Quit
appreciate
talking it, and this is where you quit talking the talk and walk the
That's
walk.
right.
Show up at Centennial Park and hug a policeman, hug a law enforcement. There'll be deputies, there'll be state troopers, everybody.
And Ken, you could do it better than I can. Remind the listeners and the viewers out there that Centennial Memorial Park is the official park
It is.
for law enforcement.
It is. For
Throughout
the state of Alabama. Yeah. Very, very lucky. People coming here from all over. I can remember when we dedicated to folks from Michigan were down here. We
That's
put
right.
the name of that law enforcement guy who got killed. We put his name on it. They were so in awe that we had such a thing. And
Bill Partridge, would you mention what Bill did on that?
yeah, Bill designed a tag, law enforcement tag, and the revenue from that tag is the money we get to build this in. Now, let's get back. I want to get Tim on here because he hadn't been on here so much, and I got to bring folks.
I can't talk anymore.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get back. You just say, I know, but when what is coming up? You got anything on your mind that's coming up in Oxford that I can secret that I don't know about? Some stuff that y'all got on the plans.
Well, the fishing classic's coming up, isn't it?
We've already had the fishing.
Just
Yeah.
had it last
Yeah.
week. Okay.
Yeah,
And
they did.
That's a good something that Eli
Yeah,
got started a long
absolutely.
time ago that really helps.
Yeah,
the
he
community
started
a lot.
that out in his swimming pool in the backyard.
Yeah,
when he-
yeah.
Let's talk
He,
about Tim. Let me tell you this, Ken, that what Tim did that I think is really important. Anderson had a park, Woodland Park, where they used to have a sports complex out of, and what area is that?
Linlock.
Linlock. Well, that's not his area. That's J.D. Hess's area. But Tim took a lot of his money, his discretionary monies, which he don't have much.
Right.
But what he had, he put it into that park and another part of the county to make an improvement there.
out of his district.
Out of his district. But it just goes to show you what a great guy and a team working the guy Tim Hodges is.
Well, like I said, I've seen the county commission before, and I've seen before you was on there and after, and I can hear phone calls of somebody calling about bad dogs in their area and stuff like that, and they'd say, well, you got to call so and so. That's not in my area. But I was sitting up there one day when you got a call for somebody that's up in Piedmont, I think Rudy Adversary or somebody, and you was taking care of because it wasn't in your district. And I think everybody on that commission has went from that old commission type thing that this is
That's
our
right.
county, and they don't look at it as a district. And when you're talking about that with Woodland, that's a great.
It's, we're going to survive as a county as a whole with Oxford and Anniston and Jacksonville and Piedmont and Weaver and Hobson City. And a couple of years ago, we did what's called the McClellan Compact at McClellan, which was getting the infrastructure for Pappy Dunn Boulevard and the park. That was done with Jay Jenkins and I getting together and saying, look, this is something that the community needs out here. This is going to help us all. It doesn't matter where you live. You can live in Oxford and work out here. And that was a good example of getting everybody within the community, all the cities and everybody, to get together and participate in that at some level, whether it was Hobson City on a very small portion, or Oxford stepped up, Anniston stepped up, Jacksonville, and just on and on. And we were told how many times that you'll never get everybody together like that. You're not going to get Oxford to do this or that. And we stuck with it, and we did. And if you hadn't been out to see the industrial park at McClellan and Pappy Dunn Boulevard and the curbing and gutter, just a lot of the infrastructure work that's been done, which is what you have to recruit nowadays. You got to be ready to go. And that's just one example of how everybody's working together, or paving a road in Anniston, or helping Oxford with something, or Jacksonville. That's just, that's the only way we're going to make our county better.
Well, Oxford is looking at a dog park and everything like that. I'm sure you're going to be in on that with Jane, Jane Cunningham and all that.
Well, Jane's wanting to open a facility here in Oxford that has like an adoption center where she can adopt them out and so forth. And just so happened in the last week or so at Woodland Park, we call it the Calhoun County Sports Complex now at Woodland Park. But now it is, we just received a grant, a DECA grant, where we're going to install batting cages back where they were, and we're also doing a dog park.
At Woodland.
At Woodland Park.
But you're still going to do the one in Oxford.
And Oxford, she wants to get her adoption center going first, and then have other aspects of that. So that's going to be great for animal lovers on either side of the county.
You're an animal lover, ain't you?
Absolutely. I have multiple animals.
Well, I'm glad Jane's got a good ally in that stuff, and I appreciate you doing
I understand, the dog issue can, it's it can be a touchy issue, but I think Jane's done a good job with it. The county has done a good job standing behind it and supporting it the way it needs to be supported.
Yeah, well, I feel like I lift Eli out of there. Eli's pretty fine. He can come back anytime. But I want to say this. I know that I've been living in Oxford for all my life. I went to Oxford High School, but I certainly know that my mayor and my city council and all those others are appreciative of having somebody your quality as a representative for our city on the county commission. And you're getting you and Hudson and all them others out there. We can't lose in this area. And so if anybody's out there that needs something in the Oxford area, in that district, that Tim Hodges in there, don't fail to call him. I'm going to give him a number up there at the office. It's 256-241-2800. Tell Janice you need.
That's right, and it goes all the way from.
We're running out of time.
Okay, White's Gap Road all the way to Oxford.
I got you on television. Are you going to come back?
Absolutely.
All right, folks, I got to come. Eli.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
You're good.
We got to go to a break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Stay right there. Welcome back to Veterans Issues, and I appreciate Eli Henderson and Tim Hodges coming on doing the show today, and a lot of good information. I'm going to have Tim back because we run way out of time on him because he's got a lot of stuff going on here in my area that I want to know about. I can get them secrets while we're on television. Law Enforcement Week is the 15th through the 19th. Got a lot of things going on here in Calhoun County, and I was saying off camera a while ago, if somebody wants to, if you want to let a law enforcement officer know that you appreciate their service, especially those who have given their life, and Centennial Memorial Park is the home of the official Alabama Law Enforcement Memorial. So come by there at some of these services now. The Wednesday, the 17th at noon, going to be feeding the military and the veterans along with law enforcement up at the City Meeting Center at noontime, and that's about 16th and Noble. And then again on let's see, on the 19th, we have the State Attorney General, the new Attorney General, Steve Marshall, is going to be speaking at noontime in Centennial Memorial Park. So you're welcome, and we need to have your presence there. So just take an hour lunch and come on up there and visit with that. The ceremony will last an hour, and you'll get to meet the new Attorney General, and the honor guards and all those things will be there. Memorial Day, I got to remind you about that. The May the 29th up in Centennial Memorial Park at 11 o'clock. You're going to have the 27th annual Memorial Day event. And this year, got him coming back. He's from the area, and Steve Chappell. Steve Chappell is going to be doing some songs for us. He's coming up from Augusta, Georgia, to perform. So you want to make that. You hadn't seen Steve around here in a while, so he'll be up there singing. The Birmingham VA director of the VA will be here the first week of June, and if you got any questions for him, get them to me on Facebook or on my information here on the TV. Just get that to me, and I'll make sure he gets it. I want to show you a few things. This picture is a friend of mine for a bunch of years. I booked him, and I got to see him after 35 years this past Saturday. It's Chubby Checker. And this is me and Chubby. Chubby is 76 years old now, and he did one fantastic show. And this one, I'd be in trouble if I didn't show that. That's the Twister bus there, the Chubby Checker bus. That's my daughter, Leah, and we got to see him Saturday night, and he was twisting the night away over in Bremen, Georgia. This is a picture I took, he took. Chubby took this picture, and that boy in the middle. Yeah, the young kid, that's Chubby's son, and this is me in the blue jacket in my younger years, and this is the old 4104 Chubby Checker bus that we run up and down the country acting stupid with. And Chubby ran 8 miles a day, and I smoked cigarettes 8 minutes a day, or every 8 minutes, I guess. But he was on me about my health back then. And the first thing he asked me after 35 years is, "You ain't still smoking, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not." But anyhow, it was great to see Chubby. I want to share those with you. It's kind of like show and tell, and I'm very proud of my association with him. And I had to but on the other spectrum, I got to work with Fats Domino and another guy named George Jones. So those things I'll share with you some other time. I got some pictures I'll bring in here, me and Conway Twitty next week if I can remember to. So. We got to go, and this week I want the salute goes out to everybody that's been involved in the Lori, all of you, Kim McCarson, everybody's involved in law enforcement this week. This salute's for you, and we'll see you next week here on Veterans Issues.